Guys, today we've got Travis Scott Jordans right around the corner. New $1,000 Jordans. And I never thought I'd say this, but Nike is dying. Welcome to Sneaky Sundays. We've got a ton to get into, so let's kick it off with a good old release recap. Now look, we had a massive week. A ton of stuff dropped, so let's kick it off with probably one of the most hyped. That is the Air Jordan 4 Bread Reimagined. These things shock dropped on, I believe, the 6th of February, at least just out in the US. Nothing's happened here in the EU or the UK just yet, and a good amount of pairs dropped, so hopefully you managed to get them. The resale price on these has been steadily declining for a while now, and we haven't even seen the main release. Currently, they're going for around $250 to $300. Now, keep in mind, retail on these is $215, so hopefully, I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind if these things crept down even more. As of right now, the main release is happening on February the 17th. If you are still after a pair, just look forward to that date, and of course, if we get any more information about another exclusive access round or anything like that, I'll let you guys know. Also, we had the two Kobe's drop, both the Core Purple and the Emerald Green Kobe 8s. Let me know down in the comment section if you managed to cop. And finally, seemingly out of nowhere, the freaking Travis Scott Jordans dropped. That's right, the Jumpman Jacks on Grammy night. Now, this wasn't the usual Travis Scott release where they have some kind of raffle open for like half an hour or an hour. This was just straight up first come first serve. However, there was only a couple hundred pairs, so they instantly sold out and everybody went berserk, and the resale price on these things skyrocketed. Currently they're going for like $3,500 on the aftermarket. All I want to say is very clearly this is a way to generate hype for this pair of shoes. Don't worry about that first release. That's kind of probably what was planned for a very long time, and we do have a pretty big update of an actual release date for these things, which is the Nike Sneakers app, potentially some other retailers, and maybe even a second Travis Scott website release. And that's going to be taking place very soon on March the 5th. I'm just hoping that they do make a decent amount of pairs so people can actually try this pair of sneakers out for themselves to find out if they do actually like them. That's not the only pair of Travis Scott's that's going to release, because the second colorway, which is this one right over here, also has a released update. So this is, I guess, the University Red colorway is what they're calling it. They're going to be dropping this summertime. These are going to be dropping on April the 30th. Honestly, I do kind of prefer that reverse Mocha colorway. We've got a lot more of these Jumpman Jack sneakers coming up. These are the first two colorways that are going to drop. But don't forget, we also got some Jordan 1s that are supposed to be happening this year. So last week we went over a couple updates for some of the other colorways like the Elkins and then that new pale vanilla colorway that's coming. But we now have a release date for the Black Olives. These are going to be dropping September the 12th. So yeah, towards the end of the year. I know we've already seen a ton of early images of this pair of sneakers, so now it's finally set in stone. These are going to be dropping $150 this September. All right, moving on from Travis Scott over to one of the other most hyped sneakers this year, and that is the Futura Nike SB Dunk Low. So we've got some even better images than we've been taking a look at. The colors are looking very, very nice. I'm not gonna lie. I do really like these things. I think a lot of people do as well. I understand it's a loud dunk, and it's also different materials, so it's all over canvas instead of like the typical leather or suede that we would normally see. In terms of a release date, we still don't have one, at least an exact one just yet, but we did just get a brand new Futura Labs collaboration, which we do have a release date for, and that is these ultra limited Crocs. So now we've got a triple collaboration on our hands. We've got Futura, Soleil Bembury, and Crocs, all with the Pollux Crocs design. The pretty sad thing about this release is that they're going to be limited to 1,000 pairs, and they are going to be insanely expensive. At only 1,000 pairs, you're looking at, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw these things reselling for like at least $1,000. Either way, if you did want to put your name in the hat, they are going to be dropping this Friday the 15th exclusively through beasponge.com, which is Soleil Bembury's website. Definitely will say this is probably going to be one of the hardest pairs of shoes to buy, but hey, why not? Give it a go. Got a couple dunk retros coming through very, very soon, starting off with the medium curry dunks. These things are returning this summertime. I remember when these originally dropped, I believe back in 2020 or 2021, people were going crazy for this colorway. They were reselling for a ton of money, and it was definitely at the time of the whole like brown sneaker craze, which I think is still a thing to some extent. Thankfully, resale price will drop down. I don't know what it's at the moment. We don't have an exact release date, just at some point this summer. summertime. We also got the Nike Dunk Low Veneer colorway returning this summertime, another 2020 special. This is always a colorway I was kind of like, yeah, it's not really my thing. No specific release date on these, just at some point this summertime. Last pair of dunks I wanted to talk about is the upcoming Dusty Olive colorway. This is February the 13th release on these. As of right now, I think it's only dropping here in the UK, maybe some other regions, but it's not loaded up on the Nike sneakers app for you guys out in the US, so maybe it's coming further down the line, but this is another one that they're bringing back. Last dunk story, we've got a very tiny rumor, but I thought I would update you guys because we did speak about them last week. The Nike SB Dunk Low Safari. This is the, the colorway that's celebrating the Olympic Games for 2024. This is the updated image, and basically it's looking very similar to the little drawing that we saw last time, or the rendered mock-up. They're supposed to be dropping this summertime. Out with the old, in with the new, because our next story is the Nike Air Max DN in a brand new Orca colorway. As we know, the Air Max DN, Nike is currently pushing these things hard. Like, they are doing so many different promos. I believe they had an ad running on the Las Vegas Sphere recently. I'm interested. I think these things look pretty cool. I'm eager to try out this new Air Max technology, and I do think that this is one of the better colorways. They're going to retail at $160, and again, are going to drop at sometime this spring, so I imagine very soon. Another spring release, we got Drake coming back into the conversation with his Nocta Nike Air Zoom Drive. This is a pair of shoes we have been speaking about for a while now. We saw like the first leaks of these things back in 2023, and now they're going to be dropping in springtime this year, so literally within the next couple weeks, I would imagine. I've seen some people getting early pairs of these things sent to them by Nocta. To me, this pair of shoes it's okay. I think the midsole looks pretty damn cool. Now, a pair of shoes that I am very interested in is the Nike Air Pegasus 2K5. This is going to be the launch colorway. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of, but this model was something that I was extremely interested in ever since they did that whole Nike sneakers live stream and leaked like all of the future 2024 releases that they were going to do. And this one seems to me like kind of a little bit of that Zoom Vomero 5 DNA, but it's just a slightly different, I guess, style to that. I'm definitely going to try them out. I just might wait for a better colorway. This one, it's going to be dropping February the 23rd, and it's already loaded up to the Nike sneakers app as well. You might actually have your first real chance at getting your hands on the brand new Nike Book 1. This is going to be kind of like the first GR colorway that's going to be dropping, the light Orwood brown. These are going to retail at $150, and they're dropping right around the corner on February the 17th. But as we know, the first release of this sneaker was that orange colorway, which was relatively controversial in terms of the actual release. I'm definitely interested in these things, so I'll probably pick this colorway up and try them out. Sticking with basketball sneakers, the Nike Kobe 9 EM Gift of Mamba is going to be dropping this holiday season. This is, I believe, going to be like the counterpart to the highs that we're getting. Wasn't it the Kobe 9 Elites, the high top, the Christmas ones that we're going to be getting this holiday season? This is going to be another option, black and gold. No specific release date on these just yet, but I'll keep you guys updated as soon as we hear anything else. All right, moving on to some Jordan leaks. So we've got a couple different pairs. The first one I wanted to talk about is the brand new Air Jordan 1 Low OG Game Royal, which is going to be dropping this holiday season. Right, so you can tell one thing is very clear. With 2024, Jordan Brand seems to be leaning into the Jordan 1 Low silhouette. I feel like we're getting a lot more of a focus on that sneaker model rather than the highs, and it kind of makes sense. You know, the hype for highs has been declining for a while, but this Game Royal colorway definitely does seem pretty interesting, and obviously it looks pretty damn good. Now, it's expected to have a sail midsole on it, and then the rest of it pretty much just staying true to the Game Royal colorway. I think the last time we had a retro of those was 2018. The speculated release date is August the 21st that these should be dropping. So yeah, just keep your eyes out and let me know what you guys think of these. A Game Royal low, would you cop them? Sticking with lows, again, like I said, they're really focusing on these freaking lows. We've got a better look at the Air Jordan 1 Low 85 Dark Mocha. I say better look, it's just a better render. We still don't have any actual images of these things. They're supposed to look just like this, so I guess you could say kind of Chicago color blocking. Now these are going to retail for $170. No exact speculative release date for these, just sometime in the holiday season. Now, trust me, Jordan Brand and the Dark Mocha, or just brown colorways in general, does not stop there. We've got a ton, kicking it off with the Jordan 1 High Latte, a pair of shoes that we've been talking about for a while now. So the 29th of May is the speculated release date, and yes, these things are pretty much just like the little Diet Mocha 2.0. Same sailed out midsole, the black and white overlays on the top, and honestly, I can see a lot of people liking these. However, a lot of people are not going to be able to get them because not only are they going to be super hyped, but it is a woman's sizing exclusive. Anyway, let me know what you think of these, and potentially do you prefer them to the original Mocha? Jordan Brand is also going to be doing an Air Jordan 3 brown cement this holiday season. So we don't have any other information on this pair of sneakers other than this mock-up based off of the color code that they're expected to come in. And we also know that they're supposed to release within the last 3 months of this year. So I guess if you wanted a brown Mocha colorway on the 3s, you got these. We got our first looks at the full-on packaging for the upcoming Trophy Room Jordan 1. Now, these were speculated to drop this February, I believe on the 15th or something, and we even took a look at this pair on the channel. The new release date for these is March the 21st, and as we know, the inspiration behind this pair of sneakers is the Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer basketball rookie card, and I think they've done this pretty damn well. Like, look at the packaging on here. You've got the signatures, you've got the colors, even the paper on here looks pretty damn cool. Now look, I know that the whole Trophy Room thing is just left a bit of a bad taste in most people's mouths, so whenever they look at these, they're like, oh god, we're never going to be able to get them. Big update that we've been waiting on for a very long time. We might have even heard the first rumors of this like back in 2022. $1,000 Jordans is a thing, and it is coming soon. So take a look at this. Remember the rumors that the Jordan Brand was basically going to be doing a Jordan 1 85 wings pack. Now they do try and like make this, you know, they're made in Italy with premium material, but I just cannot see this. Like, where is the $1,000? This is a monochromatic white pair of Jordan 1s for $1,000. Now, I will say that looking at these things, they do look very premium, like you can see, especially with this shot of the highs, like the tongue is all leather. You can see how thick these cuts are with like tan on the inside. But still, I just don't know if people are ready for this price tag. Like, you go onto the Nike sneakers app and pay $1,000 for a pair of Jordan 1s. Now, the prices are a little bit different to what we heard before. I think it was something ridiculous like $1,500 for the highs. Well, the new rumors are that the Jordan 1 high is going to cost $975, while the low will be $875. So $100 difference between them, and they're going to be dropping at some point this year. Let me know what you think of this. I would love to know your thoughts. Are people ready to spend a rack on a pair of Jordan 1s? Moving on to some Yeezy news. Something absolutely crazy happened that honestly I didn't think was ever going to happen, but Ye decided to drop Vultures. That's right. After months of waiting for this, it finally actually dropped. Now, it immediately went to #1 in 71 countries on Apple Music and is #2 in 23 other countries. So clearly people are bumping this album. I've been listening to it and I think it is freaking dope. However, some of the merch that went along with this album, so I don't know if you guys saw this video, but I recently got the t-shirts in, and it was pretty crazy. There's a lot going on with this t-shirt. I think one of the most interesting aspects of this is like the engineering behind the design. So it's like one piece of material that's kind of folded in half. They cut a hole for the neckline and then stitched it down the sides. Just like as minimal and basic as a t-shirt can get. He's uploaded a bunch of other stuff on there, so you can still get, you know, the Yeezy pods. There's some other t-shirts and stuff like that. I expect we start seeing a lot more from Ye. You know, it's very clear that he's moving in an independent direction. Not only did he drop all of this clothing and the Yeezy pods completely independently, the whole entire album was released independently, which I think is a pretty big deal that I don't see too many people talking about. Let me know what you guys think of the album, and let me know what you guys think of his merch as well. Final story for today is a massive one. So we've got to talk about Nike. Now, first off, let me just start off this story with some pretty interesting and I guess you could say somewhat good news. Cenat signed with Nike. So he's now part of the Nike family, which is a very interesting thing for like the future of collaborations with, you know, big brands like Nike, Adidas, or whatever. You know, all of these collaborations started off with athletes, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and then it slowly started to pivot to entertainers. So, you know, we have Travis Scott, Kanye West. Now it's streamers. This kind of, you know, changes the landscape for collaborators with these big, massive sportswear brands, and I think Nike has made this decision based off of something needs to change, because I think the main topic that we need to talk about is based based off of this article, how Nike ran off course. Now, this is a huge article with a ton of detail, basically talking about how Nike is in a little bit of trouble at the moment. So I want to kind of highlight some of the main points from this. First point that they make is based off of the Nike Book 1, this sneaker, and how Nike kind of botched the first release of this pair of shoes, or the initial launch. Everybody was upset, or a lot of fans specifically were upset at how Nike decided to release them. They made them ultra limited with only 500 pairs made, and they also dropped them in Miami, on the other side of the country from where the Phoenix Suns guard played. It's a good example for how Nike has changed over the past few years. So the next point they make is this graph over here. In December, Nike slashed the outlook for its fiscal year ending in May, predicting sales would grow 1%. That would mark the company's worst performance since the late 1990s. So financially, they're not doing very well either. And the interesting part is that they talk about the current Nike CEO. They say here that a lot of sneaker industry insiders trace many of the brand's shortcomings to decisions made early in the tenure of John Donahoe. He was actually named CEO in January 2020. At time for Nike was basically everything is a retro. This is when Nike really doubled down on that, and they used this as like, let's create as much hype around products as possible. And in this article, they kind of talk about how Nike's focus on all of these retros had them rapidly losing ground in other categories like performance products. They added a quote here: "The Donahoe era feels like, to me, it's on shaky ground, marred by layoffs, a lack of ingenuity in terms of product and innovation, something that people at the brand itself are complaining about." The two previous CEOs, Phil Knight and Parker, they were laser focused on product. And when Donahoe came, a lot of really important people at Nike left. Sergio Lozano, a Nike employee since 1990, credited for the creation of the Air Max 95 sneaker, left. Nate Job, who oversaw Nike's The 10 collaboration with Virgil Abloh, also left. And Tom Rushbrook, global senior design director, also left. They say that Donahoe is very data driven and, obviously focusing on the Nike sneakers app and probably all of the back-end hype factor stuff. Then they talk about the lack of innovation coming out of Nike. Remember when they dropped the space hippie thing back in 2019 and how cool that was? It wasn't a retro, it wasn't a collaboration, it was just something from Nike that was super hyped up because it was such an interesting idea and something new. Back in 2012, they talk about how, Flyknit was first introduced that wasn't reliant on a collaboration or a retro sneaker. Either way, look, this is just a very brief summary of this article. I think it's incredibly interesting from a sneakerhead standpoint. I mean, I've heard so many people in the comment section of not just my stuff, but pretty much everywhere on IG, just basically talking about how Nike has become way too over-reliant on retro sneakers and collaboration and bringing hype to models. And that's about it. We don't see any more innovation, any more new exciting products. And it also is backed up by an article we spoke about last week where twice as many Nikes are going on sale than in 2022. Now, there's so many other contributing factors to this, like, the cost of living crisis that we're in right now, but it does show that people are not really buying Nikes. It's specifically talking about Nike and how they're the brand that is going on sale more than a lot of others as well. Either way, I would love to know your guys' thoughts on all of this. If you do want to read the full article, it's on Business of Fashion. I definitely recommend it. It's a solid read. We do this every single Sunday, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel and you can always stay in the loop with the latest sneaker updates. If you want to catch up on last week's episode where we talk about Adidas Yeezys coming back this year, click over there.